Welcome our great attendees and welcome our guests. There's a lot of people already joined. We're gonna start in a second. I'd like to welcome everyone. You can start maybe with letting us know on the chat box, where are you from? Good morning, Mark. Hey guys, I'm from Poland. Hi, Katerina. Hello, Carl. Hello. Brazil, nice. India, welcome everyone. The whole world is watching the integration today. This is amazing.
Lots of locations.
Yeah, amazing. The world is small now. Hello from Jakarta. Hello, Robert. I'm also gonna start a poll in a second. We'd really like to know, are you familiar with Softr and HubSpot, both or none of the options? I've just shared the poll with you. Feel free to provide the answers. All right, we have some experts here already knowing the two tools, Softr only, HubSpot. Nice competition going on here. Let's just wait maybe one more minute to get started. We'll start with introductions. I'll tell you what is the agenda for today and who are our guests. Hello, Danielle, Foda, Lisandro, Sonia, Nacho, Robert. All right. I sense a good spirit today. We're gonna see some amazing action going on. All right, 2 more minutes. Let me take a look quickly at the poll. So it's a nice split, I would say. Like some people know Softr only, but would like to know more about HubSpot. Some people know HubSpot, looking for extensions. Neither. We will also cover some basics today, so no worries. And Softr and HubSpot, yeah, amazing. All right, nice and balanced audience today we have. Okay, so maybe let me start with sharing the screen and doing a quick introduction. Sharing it right now with you. All right, so let me do the slideshow. Hopefully, could you, Aron, maybe tell me whether everyone sees the screen? Can you see it?
I can see it.
All right. So again, welcome everyone. We're gonna start our webinar today with a subject of building a reseller partner portal with HubSpot and Softr. My name is Jakub Tutaj. I'm a senior product manager here at Softr. I was working on this integration personally with our amazing team at Softr, so I'm happy to be here and hosting this, co-hosting actually this meeting with you. And I'd like to introduce you to our first guest, Aron Gosselin, who's working at HubSpot. Aron, could you say hi to the crowd?
Awesome. Welcome, everybody, and nice to meet you. If you don't know me, I'm based in Belgium, Milan, so we're actually in the same location. So my name is Aron, based in Belgium. I've been with HubSpot for 5+ years by now. Previously, I worked at a no-code integration company called PySync that eventually got acquired by HubSpot. At the moment, I'm mostly focused on HubSpot product partnerships, which means I help enable HubSpot customers integrate their tech stack with HubSpot.
Amazing, thank you, Aron. And our next guest, who will be presenting the most of the sweet things today, is Bryan Cawse, a co-founder at Growth Fuel Consulting. Bryan, please say hi.
Thanks, Jacob. Hi, everyone. As Jacob said, my name is Bryan. A few years ago, I co-founded Growth Fuel Consulting along with my wife. We're both former HubSpotters, and we wanted to help companies of all sizes really build out a solid foundation for them to grow their business. So as well as being a HubSpot Diamond partner, we're also a Softr partner, and we're really excited at the ability to build applications on top of HubSpot to allow you to reach your goals and collaborate securely with your customers. So back to you, Jacob.
Thank you, Bryan. So yes, so the agenda for today, I'm gonna do a really short introduction of Softr, what that is for you that don't know it yet. Aron will jump in on HubSpot, and then we'll pass the voice to Bryan that will showcase us how to build a reseller portal. There will be a couple of use cases here he's going to present, like website overview, adding a form, and finally updating registered deals and customer support requests. During the whole session, I will be moderating, capturing your questions on the chat, so please do ask them along the way. If some of them will pile up, we will do a quick short pause between the sections, and we'll try to answer as many as possible. And then at the end, for sure, we will cover a couple of more. Without further ado, I will start with a short introduction to Softr. We are a no-code platform that allows you to build internal tools and customer portals, as well as other applications from your data. To make it more clear, maybe, we support multiple data sources that you can treat as a food for your application. So far we've supported Airtable, Google Sheets. Recently we've launched SmartSuite, and now HubSpot, amazing new data source that unlocks new use cases. When you're building applications with Softr, think about it as you're defining different pages of your application that are different canvases for your app. You can bring here different kinds of blocks to these pages. So you're assembling, you're building your application just as Lego, let's say, and you're bringing them together to make a beautiful app. So once you add a block, to the page, you can fuel it with data. So this data comes from, for example, HubSpot or other data sources. And Bryan is going to show you how his blocks can be fueled with HubSpot data. On top of that, we provide you with some beautiful interfaces from the get-go, so you don't need to worry much about the design at first, and then you can customize and craft it to stay on brand and really go pixel perfect on how you want your application to look like. So this is all about the introduction about the Softr. Now I will let Aron say a few words about HubSpot.
Perfect. So for those of you, I see we have many people familiar with HubSpot. For those of you who are less familiar or not super familiar with HubSpot, HubSpot is a CRM platform that connects everything scaling companies need to build a best-in-class customer experience. At the core of HubSpot, we have our CRM solution. But on top of that, we also have access to marketing, sales, customer service, content, and since recently, also operations software, all powered by AI functionality recently these days. In addition to all of that and our core products, we have a very powerful ecosystem as well, which means we integrate with more than 1,500 other software solutions to create an integrated tech stack and prevent teams to work somewhat in silos. Since recently, Softr is also part of this powerful ecosystem, and HubSpot's main goal is to help companies create a delightful customer experience. For this session, I'm particularly excited to learn about Softr and the integration with HubSpot. And without further ado, I'll hand things over to Bryan.
Bryan, you're muted.
I think you're on mute, Bryan.
Yeah.
Hi. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, there we go.
Thanks for that, Aron.
No worries.
Excellent. So I'll start by sharing my screen here. And if you could let me know once that pops up for everybody.
Popped up?
Okay, excellent. So like Aron was saying, the core of HubSpot is essentially that centralized CRM, which at its core is a database, similar to if you're using MySQL in your organization, or if you're using Airtable in your organization. And all these different pieces of data from within HubSpot are able to be used and presented to users differently in Softr depending on who they are. So I'm going to start off by walking through an example of an end user browsing a company website and then filling out a form to register their intent to talk to a partner. After this, I will jump into the partner portal to show you what a partner's view would be like for interacting with records on Softr, and updating these records within HubSpot. And the big challenge that we see this solving is how organizations are able to utilize that data from HubSpot in a secure way to collaborate with their partners and their end customers. So here on the screen, you can see in the Softr Studio, I have essentially a design tool where I can build out different pages within the Softr platform. If your website's hosted on HubSpot CMS or another platform, don't worry, you don't have to migrate your whole website over to Softr. You can build an application and host it on a subdomain that people can access from your website. But on the other side, if you wanted to build an entire business and website within Softr, you absolutely can. From here, I'm just going to preview this application that I've created. And I will show you an example of maybe an end user who's interested in buying some widgets from Widgets Inc., but they only work through partners to allow them to scale at a global level. So I'll quickly log out of this demo user and log into just an anonymous visitor here. If I click on partners in the navigation, it's going to pull up a list of people who have been flagged as partners within Widget Inc.'s CRM system. So this data is pulling straight from the HubSpot portal and is being presented to anybody that is looking for a partner on Widgets Inc. Only people who are tagged as partners will show up here, so you don't have to worry about accidentally sharing customer data. This is going to be very much customized to just show resellers or partners that you flagged in the system. And you can even take this a little bit deeper. So if I go on White and Pinkman Associates here, I can present more information about partners by pulling that data from within the HubSpot portal. So each of these little bits of data here is a property within HubSpot. And for those of you who aren't familiar with HubSpot, if you think about it, and this is very much simplifying it, but if you think about it like a spreadsheet, you'll have different tabs for different objects, a tab for companies, a tab for contacts, and each of these columns would be, for example, a city or a company website where this data is stored. So if I swap over to HubSpot here, you can see I have this contact record open, and you can see where the data is pulling from within HubSpot. If this is updated, it will then reflect immediately within Softr. So here I've got a basic form on this website, which will allow end users to almost self-register themselves as a lead for these partners. And if you are running an organization that is utilizing channel sales, this is a great way to allow end users to register themselves, but also show value to your partners and say that you can help generate leads for them. So if I just fill out this this contact form here, and if I submit this inquiry, you can see very fast it gets sent straight through to HubSpot. And if I go through to the contact records here and I refresh this, you can see that a new contact has immediately been created, and all of the information from that I entered within that form has been passed through to HubSpot here. Now, I mentioned registering companies and associating companies to partner records, which is a great way of showing value to a partner that you're either trying to onboard or a partner that you're trying to get to sell more. So over here on the left-hand side, I've created a little view of the contact registration details. And you can see here that the registered partner is White and Pinkman. So if I go back to the Softr Studio, I'll show you how all of this information gets processed on Softr and then sent straight through to HubSpot. So here on the Softr Studio, I'll go to Pages, and then I will go to the partner page here. Now, this is where all of the reseller information was being pulled from HubSpot to just show resellers that were tagged in the system. If I click on this list here, you can see that the data source that I have mapped is my HubSpot portal, and the object, essentially the table in the database that I'm asking it to search in, is the company record here. Now, you can do searches on contacts, deals, companies. We'll cover all of that in a little bit here. Now, to make sure that I'm only filtering and showing resellers and not customers, I have put a filter on here that says only show companies that are tagged with the reseller field. Now, I know I've covered a lot here. I'll just pause for a second before I go into the partner details and see if there is a question that you might have. I see Med has a question. Why do not simply use Airtable and spreadsheets as a database? That is a good question, and something that I will show you is a very good reason why you would want to have HubSpot as your database. So if I pull over my emails here, and don't worry, I've hidden all of my sensitive information, you can see that I have an automated email from HubSpot that will be sent straight away to the person who owns the contact record, saying that there is a new introduction request for a partner. So this allows you to centralize all of your communications, all of your team tasks in a single platform, and use this for additional reporting and automation, which really allows you to build out an end-to-end view of how a customer is finding your business, finding your partners, going through the different stages of becoming a lead, an opportunity, and then a customer within a single platform. So it's really quite powerful there.
Yeah, we can also answer it from the angle, I think, of once you have a sales organization or marketing organization already working from HubSpot and they live there every day and store the data. This is the main data source. Then it's not a matter then of first figuring out what would be the nice data source to store data in. It's just the fact that there's already an ecosystem existing within the organization that makes the sales and marketing teams more productive. On top of that, you'd like to build additional extensions.
Yeah,
there are more questions. Sorry, Bryan. Just mentioning there are more questions coming, but let's maybe finish of your use cases, unless you'd like to jump straight to them.
Sure. Let me just quickly finish the partner overview here. So the next stage after clicking on say hi to one of our partners takes you to a detailed partner view. So we can see the partner details page here. This will pull in the records only from a specific partner. So here you can see, just as the demo, it's pulling in Ross Johnson, where they're based, country, all this information that is stored and registered within HubSpot, and you can selectively present to the customers that you want to show. And then down here is where we have this form. If I click on the form here, I can see the destination that I want to send this form data to, which is, in this case, a HubSpot contact object. And down here, we can map each of these individual fields to a property within HubSpot. So I can add the first name, last name, email, and down here, I've also added a hidden field. So this is a field that's not going to appear within the form, but it's also going to allow you to push additional information through to that contact record, which you typically wouldn't be able to do. So here we can see I want to automatically register this contact to the partner that they're on the partner page that they're on. So here the registered partner gets updated with the company domain name that this record is associated with. So this is how you would essentially create a partner overview on your website, showcase all the partners that you're working with, and then create a lead generation funnel for the partners that you want to demonstrate value to. So I'll pause here to see if there's any more questions before I dive into the reseller view.
Awesome. Thank you, Bryan, for this segment. So let me jump into a couple of questions. Could you easily build a graphical interface here, like a store finder? I can take this unless, Bryan, you'd like to say from your perspective.
I'm happy for you to take it, Jacob.
Yeah, so for sure, like what Bryan today shows is basically an application started from scratch with not really visual elements on it. It shows like to show cleanly like how the data flows between the two systems. It shows really clean blocks here, but for sure you can, as you can see here on the right hand side, there's a styles tab on each of the blocks where you can take control over, different look and feel, background colors, text fonts. You can add images, you can have different visuals that will make it, for example, for visitors, make it look more like a landing page. For internal users, more like an internal tool. You have the control over how the application looks like. There are multiple static and dynamic blocks. By static, I mean you surface static information in a nice visual ways. With dynamic blocks, I mean you pull the data from a data source and also lay it out the way you want. To answer questions from Danielle, as a follow to that, we have Airtable as a database. We'd love to transition to HubSpot. In Airtable, we have a sheet that everything gets pulled from. Would we create a list or report in HubSpot with all the fields we want? Sort of a duplicate of what Airtable has. I can answer that, but also maybe Aron, would you like to take this one?
Perfect. So we can easily transition data from one system to another. Basically, people do it sometimes manually, or we also have automated methods, like through an integration, for example.
So taking a few more. Why do not use simply Airtable or spreadsheet as DB? I think we answered that with Bryan before. And one thing that made me nervous about playing around with Softr was that while I wanted to connect it to my base and define users from our real data, I don't actually wanted to send anything to them until I'm ready. What's the best practice for building it out safely? This is a great question. And with Softr, you have this control. So for example, when you start working on your application, and I believe this was also the case for Bryan, if you would click quickly on the users tab, Bryan, can I ask you to do that?
Yeah.
You will see here that there are a couple of Walter Whites from Breaking Bad and other characters. Also, Bryan is here. These are some of the test emails, but also you can bring, for example, some sample contacts to HubSpot, just few of them of different kinds of user types you'd like to see in your application, and see whether the data will surface in Softr safely. So you can bring these manually. Here. So nothing will go out to your contacts or customers. The only operations you would do when building your app will be reading information. And for writing information to HubSpot, you can choose like which objects should be part of this writing, whether you want to update your sample contacts. So you can pretty well feel in control. And also, whatever gets added to HubSpot, it's also not a big issue because you can always remove it then and clean up the data shortly. Like the only, I think, the risk you might be feeling is whether you are not exposing or pushing something to specific users. But again, like if you have this way to create them in a controlled way, there shouldn't be any issue. I think I'll collect a couple of more questions, but actually let you, Bryan, continue on your use cases. I'll be here on chat, back on chat.
Sure, thanks, Jacob. So now that we've covered off how an end user might interact with your website and find a partner that they want to work with, I want to show you what a partner view would look like once they're working with your organization and partnering with you on opportunities, support requests, and things like this. So in the Softr Studio here, you can see a page that I've created for a reseller portal. The beginning, it's going to say, welcome to your partner portal, and then it's going to input the logged in user's first name here to personalize it and make it seem a bit warmer. Here we have a deals tab, which is going to show all of the deals that your company is associated with and working on together. And this will allow you to securely and collaboratively work with partners on opportunities, which typically hasn't been able to be done on HubSpot without inviting customers into or partners into your HubSpot portal. So this is a great way of only showing the information that you want your partners to see and only allowing them to update the information you want them to update. So we'll take a bit of a deeper dive into this. And it's very much the same process for tickets. So for those of you who aren't familiar with HubSpot, tickets and deals are very similar in the way that they function within HubSpot. A deal will move along a pipeline from open to qualified to, hopefully for all of you, close one. And a ticket also operates within a pipeline. So new support requests can be raised, then it can be out for servicing, then it can be closed once it's fully resolved. And then down here, you can also present a list of your partners' registered companies, so companies that they've registered that they have an active opportunity with and they want to work with you with. And here I've also added approval statuses. So for that, deal approval workflow, you can have that within HubSpot and update that live within Softr as well. And I've also created a form here that will allow resellers to register new companies that they want to work with. So I'll take a bit of a deeper dive into each one of these pieces. So if I just click on the block here, I'll just quickly show you how the blocks are currently set up. So for the source, everything's going to be related to HubSpot, but for any deals that you want to show, it's going to be related to that deals object within HubSpot. And the way that I've set up these conditional filters is that any deal that is related to a partner will have a partner domain tagged to them. So this is how you restrict that field. So only the partners that are working with you on that opportunity can see that opportunity. No other partner can see that opportunity if they're not associated with it. And this is very much the same process for tickets as well, except instead of deals, it's going to be associated to tickets, and only partners that are supporting that particular customer will be able to see those tickets. So let's see what this looks like from Walter White's view. So I'll click on the preview here. And you can see I'm previewing as a non-logged in user. If anybody tries to access anything they shouldn't, they'll get a 401 error. When I swap to Walter White, because he is an approved person for this reseller portal, it's going to log me straight in and then show me all of the deals, tickets, and contacts associated with Walter White. So we'll just give
there's
this
a small slowdown. Something, maybe could you refresh the page? I don't know why. It looks like there's some connection issue on your end, maybe? I'm not sure.
Yeah,
because you can see this image loading a really long time. Not sure.
There we go. It is 10:30 here in Singapore, so maybe it's getting a little bit sleepy. All right, here we go. So now you can see I'm logged in as Walter White. The personalization token I've put into the title here shows Walter, makes it feel a little bit more warm and personal. And you can see here the deals that Walter's company, White and Pinkman Associates, are currently working on. So here I've also put in the partner sales rep, their email in case Walter wants to get in touch with them, what stage the opportunity is in, as well as the amount the deal is. Now, if there's lots of opportunities and your partners want to try filter this down, you can also pull in tags here, which could be custom properties that you have within HubSpot. So here, let's just say I'm only interested in existing business deals. I can click on existing business and automatically filter down these deals to just show the opportunities that are going to be upsell for my customer base. And if I wanted to take a deeper dive into this particular deal here, I can click on open and it's going to take me to a very detailed view of that opportunity, similar to what we saw with the partner records, where customer sees a partner they want to work with, they click on say hi, and it's going to show more details about this partner. This is going to do essentially the same thing, but for the specific deal that they click on here. So here you can see the deal name, what stage it's in, when it's estimated to close, the deal amount. I've been working with partners on doing partner commissions on HubSpot, so I've also put in the estimated partner commission field here, so the partners can see how much they're going to make with you, and also the owner of that particular deal within the HubSpot portal. Now, something that's really cool that typically you haven't been able to do within HubSpot without giving partners access to your portal is actually being able to use Softr to update only the specific properties that you want them to update. So if I click on Update Deal here, it's going to pull up a window where it's going to let me update 3 records on a particular deal. So for maybe for this opportunity, I want to move it to the negotiation stage. Maybe the deal amount's going to 5,000 and the close date is going to be this Friday. So I can click Update here. And then all of that information is going to be pushed straight through to HubSpot. So if I go back to White and Pinkman Associates here, we can see the deal over here that I just updated. And if I click on this, we can see that the amount has been updated to 5,000. It's in the negotiation stage. And the close date has been updated to this Friday as well. So this is really powerful and especially useful. So your sales reps or yourself don't have to go back and forth between the customer or the reseller, find out details in an email, then update it manually. The partner can just update it all themselves, which is incredibly helpful. Now, if I scroll down a little bit further, something else that we're able to do is collaborate with partners on deals. So like I just did, I updated the deal stages here, but maybe I want to leave a note for that sales rep to let them know exactly what's happening. So I can click on Add a Note here. And if you're familiar with HubSpot, notes are typically something that is meant for internal use, but with Softr, you're able to have your partners directly put notes within the deal or within a contact or within a company that you and the team can review and be across what the partner is doing in your account. So here I'll say the customer is ready to sign this week. And I'll just do that. Regards, Walter. So when I add this, it's going to post this note on that deal that I just opened, and anybody that's in the HubSpot portal will be able to see that Walter has said that this deal is going to close this week. So if I go back to this opportunity here, we can see the note has appeared within the HubSpot opportunity. So this is really helpful for the sales team to be across what the partner's working on, what they're doing, as well as to leave notes for the partner. So if I could just come back here and I can add a note and just say, thanks, Walter. Let me know what support you need. Regards, Bryan. And if I save this note and I go back to Softr and I refresh, it will come through eventually, but it's just taking a little bit longer. But that's essentially how you would collaborate with your essentially partners on opportunities and deals. I'll stop here. Are there any questions before I move on to tickets?
Of course, they are piling up. So let's pause here for a second. Awesome. And please keep bringing them. Bryan, I saw your question. I will follow up after the webinar, perhaps the latest tomorrow in your private message. No worries about that. And now I will jump into public questions. So starting from, I love how easy Softr is to use. When is Softr going to invest in making UI components beautiful? So the good news is that the first blocks that are gonna be redesigned, come with the redesigned and modernized versions should still come this month following up, with the next blocks being launched over, the course of several more weeks, in a sequences. Brian asks, do you have a training video with a sample HubSpot and Softr application available that I can follow along? I've shared a couple of YouTube videos on the chat, so everyone, encouraging you to take a look at them. Any plan to ship features that allow you to interact with HubSpot settings, create custom properties, and other assets like contact company lists? We do not offer these actions yet. Daniel, I will follow up you and will be happy to learn about your use cases. Like, what would you hope to accomplish? We are now, still in beta and actively listening what kind of functionalities would be needed, what they are unlocking. So, as long as HubSpot API allows for these things, and it does, we can consider bringing this to our integration. How many users, partners, and products can be registered with Softr and HubSpot? So, typically, I would say as long as for the partners you'd like to let them into the portal that Brian is showcasing here, they will be treated most likely in HubSpot as companies and contacts, and which means like on the HubSpot side, there's no really a big limit, I would say, number of records for contacts and companies on any of the plans. As for the Softr, even starting with the free plan, you can already have 100 partners that could log into your portal and securely see their data, only restricted to their information that they should see. And with the $49 per month, you can already have 1,000 portals, and with higher plans you can get more. So hopefully this should suffice your needs at the start. And the other question was, how are you dynamically getting the username for the greeting? So I think there is now a little hack that I've shared over the help docs. The link is in the chat. I think, Brian, we can continue. Or before that, just mentioning we are 8 minutes left. So yeah, I'm shutting up, and let's also leave some time for the last round of questions.
Sure. So the last thing that I will show here is going to be a partner registering a company that they want to work with. So I'll go back to the preview window here. And if I scroll down to the bottom, you can see these are all the companies that Walter White has currently registered, how many deals they have associated with them, what approval status the deal reg is in. Now, if I wanted to add in another account here that I want to register because I have an opportunity, I can say, so Goodman Legal, company website can be solgoodman.com. They want to buy 10 widgets. So when I submit this lead, I can go back to HubSpot here and refresh the page. And we can see the company has automatically been created in HubSpot. And we can see that it is pending review for the deal registration. So I'll quickly open this. And if I go back to the reseller portal here and I refresh, we can see Saul Goodman is here. There's no deals associated, and the deal reg is pending approval. Oops, I can go straight back into HubSpot. I can update this to deal reg approved. Refresh this. And the partner will be able to see that the opportunity is approved. And I'll quickly drag over my email again and just show you the automation that you can build around this as well. You can also send an internal alert to whoever manages, for example, White and Pinkman as the partner. You can send them a notification saying that a new deal has been registered for Saul Goodman Legal and that they have to review and approve within 24 hours. So this is something incredibly powerful that you can do to make sure that you're promptly following up on opportunities that partners are registering, and also automatically tagging and giving partners visibility of what's going on with their opportunities in the system. So I guess with this, we will probably have to answer a lot of questions, I'm sure.
No worries. Yeah, amazing presentation, Bryan. Thank you so much for that. This was a beautiful showcase, very nicely executed, as well as I think we covered a lot today. We saw like how you restricted showing the information that is relevant to specific logged in users, allowing visitors sending information straight to HubSpot, providing relevant actions for relevant user groups. So yeah, this is amazing and shows the power of this integration, and we are still at the early days. So again, thank you for that. Now jumping straight to questions, please. Yeah, so Aron already answered one of them, how HubSpot is different from Airtable. So thank you for that. The remaining one, I think, is like, what's the advantage of doing this versus giving partner unlimited access directly to HubSpot? I think there, like, part of it might be, a pricing consideration. Like, if you have 1,000 partners, would you like to, invite 1,000 users to HubSpot? Probably it's not. Like, they sometimes would be the ratio of actual sales and marketing people working in the HubSpot platform would would be different than people that you would like to be partners of. So one for sure is whether you'd like to treat these people as HubSpot users and seats actually, or rather companies you have a relationship with and you provide them external access to data in the interface that is relevant more for them and not specifically to sales or service or marketing teams. I don't know, Aron, if you'd like to add something here. Like, are you familiar with other partner use cases, like whether often they are part of HubSpot, user base, or are rather externally served?
I was just about to get back to Carl. I think I love where his brain is going and thinking. I think the added benefit of Softr is also adding that nice, beautiful visual user experience to. As a partner, it's always nice to see something dedicated to you and to have a quick overview outside of the front office tool that HubSpot is providing to everybody, basically. So I think the UX is definitely beneficial for partners when using Softr.
Yeah, and look, just to add on to that, this is actually how I came across Softr. I'm working with a large global manufacturing company that manufactures cleaning robots, very cool company. The security and compliance team said, no, we can't add external people to HubSpot. You need to find a way to allow our dealers to collaborate with you on HubSpot, but using another platform. And shortly, one day later, I saw the notification that Softr is supporting HubSpot as a data source, and here we are. It's a great way to securely allow access to HubSpot without directly having access to HubSpot.
Yeah. Also, there were so when we discussed the access control permissions and stuff like that. So the platform access controls happens in Softr, not HubSpot, precisely because we have, like, once you connect a Softr with HubSpot, you need to be a super admin. So you need to consciously allow us to, for example, Bryan, to pull and write the data to HubSpot, which means the access controls happens from Softr. As an app builder, we guide you towards making sure you are surfacing and showing the right information before it lands to production. So you can make sure that you are showing the right data to users. And we are actually recently we launched global data restrictions, not yet for HubSpot, but this is also coming, that will allow you from the top level, like, restrict everything you don't want to be by any chance surfaced in your application, and then on the block level, you will be able to further refine the permissions for the users. can I connect my HubSpot developer account to a test software account? As long as this is treated as a regular, as if developer account is treated as any other regular account, upon authentication authorization, you can pick the account you want to connect to, Carl. So the answer is yes. We are almost at time, but I also wanted to cover the question about the healthcare management system use cases. And so I would say, like, as long as HubSpot supports HIPAA compliance, and but this is just a part of the story. I know there are also some documents that each company providing the application needs to sign. Apart from it, then Softr is just, let's say, this data processor more or less. So we don't store the data that is in HubSpot. We don't sync it really. We just use the API to pull and write to HubSpot, with few exceptions where we would need to cache some of the information that is not, I think, under HIPAA compliance, which is basically, for example, an email of the user, and just this as an identificator of what kind of information should be pulled into Softr. So yeah. Just register for a normal account with Softr. Yes, free account and free HubSpot account, free Softr account to get started. That's how easy it is to start.
As an FYI, and to add to that, Jacob, as far as I know, HubSpot isn't completely HIPAA compliant yet. Just something to keep in the back of our minds here.
Yeah.
I know this is on our roadmap, so it will come at some point, but at the moment, the latest I have, we aren't yet.
Got it. Thank you for clarification. All right, so we are at time. I'd love to answer even 10 more questions, but we have to finish for today. Again, thank you our attendees, thank you our guests. Amazing webinar. Thank you for showcasing this, and see you on the next webinars, hopefully on the chats. I will follow up with a couple of people here on the chat that I said I will be assured. I will follow up the latest tomorrow. Thank you all, and goodbye. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Take care.
Thank you all.
Bye.